Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, rewind your tapes, and please, be kind. Rewind your attitudes. Because our story begins with a man named Barry McButton, a guy whose lifelong dream was simple. Open the greatest retro-style video shop the world has ever seen. Like, ever. But there was one small problem. Barry was broke, not regular broke. Not, I can't afford toppings on my pizza. Broke. Barry was, use old spaghetti jars as drinking cups broke. Barry loved VHS tapes more than anyone alive. While other people had Netflix, Barry collected dusty horror movies, weird sci-fi films with questionable acting, and 80s workout tapes that smelled like regret. Whenever he passed an empty shop space, he'd press his face to the window and whisper, "Someday, this will be Barry's Rewind Kingdom."
What would you name your own retro video shop? Say it out loud. I want to hear how creative you get. One day, Barry got an idea so big his brain did a backflip. He would raise money by live streaming his adventures, searching for rare VHS tapes. He called it Hunting with Barry, The Quest for the Holy Tape. Catchy, very dramatic, possibly too dramatic. His viewers loved it. They watched Barry crawl under tables at flea markets. They watched Barry argue with a pigeon who stole his popcorn. They watched Barry celebrate every find like he'd just discovered gold. Someone in chat even typed, "Bro, did you just do a backflip for a VHS of Sharknado Zero?" And Barry proudly said, "Yes. Yes, I did." If you found a rare VHS of your favorite movie, what victory dance would you do? Show us, right now. No shame. Barry. After months of saving, screaming, and live streaming, Barry finally had enough money to rent a tiny shop. Well, tiny is generous. It was the size of a broom closet. But to Barry, it was the Taj Mahal of tape. He decorated it with lava lamps, neon lights, posters of movies nobody remembers, a cardboard cutout of Arnold Schwarzenegger that kept falling over and terrifying customers. Barry opened the doors with dramatic music blasting from a boombox. People lined up around the block. Actually, most of them were just waiting for the bus, but some came inside. Barry greeted everyone with, "Welcome to Barry's Rewind Kingdom, where every tape is a treasure and every customer gets a high five." He high-fived so aggressively that one customer said, "I think he dislocated my confidence." Then someone asked, "Do you have the VHS of Space Ghost 3, The Final Ba?" Barry gasped. That was the rarest of the rare. He reached behind the counter, pulled out a glowing VHS tape, and the crowd went, "Oh!" Would you watch a movie called Space Ghost 3? But be warned, Space Goats judge harshly. Barry's shop became legendary. People didn't just come for tapes. They came for the nostalgia, the jokes, the snacks, and the fact that Barry sometimes dressed as characters from movies no one had ever heard of. And every night as Barry locked the doors, he whispered, "Dream achieved, baby." Then he tripped over the Arnold cutout again. Maybe Barry expands his video shop, or discovers a haunted VHS, or starts a rivalry with a modern streaming service run by a suspiciously shiny robot. Tell me what direction you want next. Discovers a haunted VHS. Oh, yes! A haunted VHS is exactly the kind of chaotic retro energy Barry deserves. Here comes Part 2, written for narration, packed with viewer interaction, comedy, suspense, and maximum VHS weirdness. Welcome back, viewers, listeners, and lovers of outdated plastic rectangles. Last time, Barry finally opened his beloved retro video shop, Barry's Rewind Kingdom. But tonight, oh, tonight, things get spooky. It's closing time. Barry is sweeping the shop, humming the theme song from Ninja Ferret 2, when suddenly, thud. A dusty old package slams against the front door. Barry freezes. I didn't order anything. I can barely afford cereal." He slowly opens the door. No delivery person, no footsteps. Just fog. And the box, heavy, old, wrapped in tape that says, "Do not play, do not rewind, do not look directly at it." Which, let's be honest, is basically an invitation. Viewers call it, "Would you open the box?" Say open or run away like a terrified sandwich. Barry rips open the box. Inside is a VHS tape with a cracked label that reads, "Return to sender or else." And written underneath in messy red text, "The movie that watches you back." Barry laughs nervously. "Well, that's definitely not concerning." He holds it up to the light. The tape buzzes. Not like electronics, like it's breathing. "Barry, is that normal? Chat? Anyone?" On a scale of 1 to nope, 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 how cursed does this tape look? Barry can't resist. He slides the tape into the player. The screen flickers, static. Then a shadowy figure appears, whispering, "Rewind me if you die." Barry leans forward. Suddenly, the figure points directly at the screen. Not at the audience in the movie, at Barry. And then the TV voice says, "You, with the messy sweep job. Yes, you. Clean your corners better." Barry shrieks. Did the demon just critique my sweeping?" Type, "Sweep faster, Barry," if you want him to keep watching. Type, "Unplug the TV," if you think this tape needs to go back to the Shadow Realm. Suddenly, the VHS crackles, and a ghostly hand reaches out of the screen. Barry panics. He grabs the nearest object for defense, a rubber prop sword from Night of 1,000 Paper Cuts. He swings, it squeaks. The ghost pauses. "Really?" Barry, "It came with the shop." The ghost rolls its glowing eyes. Rather than attack, it just floats over to the horror section and starts reorganizing the tapes alphabetically. "Your genre arrangement is chaos," the ghost complains. "Who put Slime Attack next to the Notebook?" Barry whispers, "It was a slow day." Should Barry try to talk to the ghost? Or throw the VHS back into the box and tape it shut? Say talk or yeet the tape. Barry decides to communicate. Turns out the ghost used to be a movie critic. A harsh one. A very harsh one. He died during a disappointing film premiere and became cursed to haunt bad movies forever. "So you're not here to, drag me into the void?" Barry asks. The ghost shrugs. "Nah, I just want your customers to stop renting garbage movies. Please, just once." Barry looks around his shop. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. The ghost sighs, grabs a VHS, and says, "At least let me fix your horror section." And so, weirdly enough, Barry and the ghost became friends. Well, co-workers. The ghost worked for free. Now every night the ghost organizes tapes, scares away thieves, and occasionally whispers spoilers into Barry's ear. Barry keeps the haunted VHS in a glass case labeled, "Warning Haunted, also judgy." And every time the ghost appears, Barry just says, "Hey man, you here to alphabetize things again?" The ghost floats forward, sighs dramatically, and whispers, "Yes, and please stop putting popcorn in the VCR." Barry, "That was one time."